High school sports, where the student athletes of today are forged into men and women of tomorrow. Join our Chippewa Valley Big Reds and Dakota Cougars on their journey towards building their skills and identities, learning to endure through struggles and setbacks, discovering the camaraderie of working together as a team, and feeling the unparalleled rush of achieving greatness on the field. Welcome to CVC Sports.
Packed gymnasium tonight for this rivalry contest between the Chippewa Valley Big Reds and the Dakota Cougars. Jeff Vitale, Brad Fetters. Jeff, this one has the feel of a big-time game. The records might not show it, but we should be in store for one heck of a ball game here tonight.
Well, Brad, the Cougars the other night got a big win against Grosse Pointe South. Get a little momentum going in here, but this is always big no matter what the records are. Both teams going to come in, play very hard, and this is a big game for the Cougars. The Big Reds fallen the other day at Port Huron Northern, need a win just as bad to keep up with that race, and Dakota wants to kind of make some noise and kind of creep up. So both games, Big Reds, got to watch out for Belante. He's a hot shooter. The Cougars defense is going to need to be on point tonight. It's going to be an interesting game. Can't wait.
That win for Dakota the other night, 62-55 on the road against Grosse Pointe South. Snapped a 5-game losing streak. Dakota comes into play tonight 9-6, 1-4 in MAC Red play as we have hit the halfway point of conference play. Chippewa Valley, on the other hand, 12-3, 3-2 in the MAC Red. They too are coming off of a loss in their most recent game, and they got, surprised a little bit, I think, by that Port Huron Northern team.
Yeah, strange things happen when you go to that gym, and they kind of caught it a hot shooting night. Poured in 79 points on the Big Reds, which is kind of surprising the way they play defense. But, you got to be able to forget that and turn around quickly, and now you got to play your crosstown rivals here in a big game.
Dakota clad in their home whites, Chippewa Valley in their road reds with black trim and white numerals. Dakota will start with Arnaz Sanders, Tovin Williams, Braden Lee, DeKoven Thomas, and Keelan Jackson. Chippewa Valley will counter with Josh J. Johnson, Cassidy Sanders, Justin Gloucester, Jaden Brown, and Brandon Belante. Chippewa Valley will have the opening possession of the ball game. Chippewa Valley coming in averaging 60 points per contest while giving up 48. Dakota scoring 59 per game, giving up 55.
It's going to be interesting, too, here, Brad, is seeing the adjustments they made from the first game. Chippewa handed them a 19-point loss, kind of got hot shooting here. We'll see how the Cougars try to come out, slow down the Big Reds' hot shooting.
Jay Johnson, the first bucket of the night, gives the Big Reds the early 2-0 lead, and they will have the possession after some stifling defense on that half-court possession for the Cougars.
One thing you've seen, Brad, in the MAC Red this year, not just from the Big Reds, the Cougars, or even Lincoln, is so many people contesting the ball at the rims. There is no easy baskets this year in the MAC Red. If you go to the basket, you better go strong, because you have a good chance of getting your shot blocked. Hence, there you go. Block shots for everybody.
It was a 15-point loss for Chippewa Valley, 79-64 on the road against Port Huron Northern. The 79 points they gave up was the most they've given up all season long.
Yeah, just found themselves in the shootout, just came out on the wrong end of it.
Braden Lee hands off to Arnaz Sanders into the corner. Sanders' three is good.
Yeah, nice job on the dribble handoffs, and Tobin Williams drove the basket, pulled his defender in, and Arnaz was able to knock down the triple. Brandon Belante is the guy the Cougars got to really watch out for. Those of you who saw the Roseville broadcast saw him go off for 16 in the third. he gets going, he could really make this Big Red team deadly.
Jackson finds a cutting to Coven Thomas. Rebound picked up by Justin Gloucester over to Jay Johnson. Johnson across the Cougar logo at half court as his pocket pick. Tovin Williams out in transition, pulls up, floats up a shot, and hits. 5-2 lead for the Cougars here early.
You know, that's the one thing that both teams got to be careful of is the turnover bug. You got to keep that turnover bug down. That means you give teams easy baskets, easy in transition baskets, and you want to be able to, both teams will slow them down. That's going to be a travel.
No call. Wow, Gloucester hit the floor. He kind of lost his footing. Johnson into the corner for Belante. 3 on its way off the back heel. Long rebound tracked down by Tovin Williams. Up ahead to Keelan Jackson. Dumps it into the corner. Extra pass for Lee. Pierre. Oh, what a hot start for the Cougars.
Yeah, Braden took a back step there. He was in his favorite spot there, that baseline triple. He knocked it down. The Cougars couldn't have asked for a better start.
Don't forget, this Cougar team did not have a field goal in the fourth quarter the last time these two teams hooked up. A bit of a different start to the basketball game. Straightaway 3, too strong. Long rebound picked up out of the air by Brown. Knocked out of his hands. Keelan Jackson scoops and scores. Coach Corey Smith needs a timeout. He has watched his team give up 10 straight. Cougars in front 10-2.
And this place has come to life in a hurry. A nice little run like that will do that for that home crowd, get them going here. You know, Big Red's had some looks, didn't knock them down. Belante had a nice look from the corner. Gloucester had a look from the outside. Both turned into misses, and the Cougars can come cashing in on the other end. And right now, it's all Dakota Cougars. Coach Smith got to find a little something to get the Big Reds going. As the Cougars off to a hot start, Brad.
So kind of put things in perspective, Chippewa Valley comes in with that 3-2 record in MAC Red play. In their 3 wins in MAC Red play, they have given up 41.6 points per game. In their 2 losses to Lincoln and Port Huron Northern, they have given up 78.5 points. 78
and 79 points will put you on the losing end of most games. I think the only time I've seen someone score in the 70s and lose was the Dakota game here against De La Salle. They won 86-72. Usually when you're in the 70s, especially in a high school basketball game, you're on the winning side of it. So what the Big Reds can do, and again, they can shoot, but what you don't want to start getting is get into a shootout. You want to be able to control the pace. We saw that the other night with the Chippewa Valley girls and the Port Huron Northern Huskies that kind of controlled the pace. Right now, Dakota controlling the tempo of the game. The Big Red's got to find a way to get it back.
Cass Sanders has his shot blocked by Keelan Jackson. Up ahead to Arnez Sanders. Kicks it back out to Tovin Williams. Extra pass. Straightaway 3 off the side of the rim. Sanders had it momentarily, had it knocked out of his hands. Jay Johnson brings it up, goes behind the back. Now picks up the dribble. Dangerous pass to Gloucester. Begins to explore, drives the lane, goes up strong with the left hand and gets the bank to fall.
That was almost like a windmill left-handed circus shot. He just threw off the window and it went down, but a much-needed basket for the Big Reds.
Arnez Sanders using the glass to his advantage. He's got 5. Good flow to this basketball game in front of a packed gymnasium.
Especially for the guys who are seniors, Brad. This is the last time you play each other in the rivalry, so you want to make it count. Josh Johnson knocking down a big 3 right there. And woo, this is the way we're coming out. Can't wait to see how the rest of this game goes.
Looking for the answer. Thomas gets it. DeCovid Thomas was held to just 9 points in the first meeting between the two schools.
He hit that shot from Hall Road there, Brad.
And now Josh Johnson stripped. Tovin Williams, pull-up jumper, no good off the back heel. Thomas gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Tovin Williams short. Jaden Brown, we know what type of player he is. He had 21 points and 15 rebounds in the first meeting. Gets his defender up in the air and one. Jaden Brown, he can take over a basketball game.
Yeah, just using that big body in there, and he just he muscled Jackson down to the block and just powered it up right over him. chance for a three-point play.
Benji Jackson and Egan Papami getting ready to check in. Will replace Tovin Williams and Keelan Jackson. So Coach Toko going to his bench early. Jaden Brown looking to complete the three-point play, unable to. But the offensive rebound secured by Justin Gloucester.
One thing I've noticed, Brad, is much better help defense this time around, the second time around for the Dakota Cougars. The Big Reds, anytime they're getting in the key, a lot of active hands. And I think right now they're going to try to get Jaden Brown, who's got Arnez Sanders on him. A little bit of a size mismatch. I think you're going to see Benji Jackson maybe switch to get on him, but now Jaden Brown's going to sit down for a minute.
Caleb Folks will come in for Jaden Brown. Caleb Folks recently committing to Madonna to play football. Congratulations to Mr. Folks. Caleb Folks, baseline pass for Justin Gloucester, has to bring it back out. They'll look to reset. Josh Johnson tiptoes the midcourt stripe and one. What a strong drive to the hoop. Gets the harm and will shoot one.
Yeah, nice drive to the basket, giving up a lot of inches there to the big man, but kept his body on him, was able to lay it in and get the foul. And another chance for a three-point play here. It could make this a one-possession game.
Already the third team foul on Dakota. As the referee looks to be...
Yeah, they mentioned the student section, but Josh Johnson actually barked at the students first and barked back. I think that's what he's talking about. He actually got called into duty. This official got called into duty the JV game. We had a ref go down the JV game, tore his hip flexor, and he had to kind of come in out of the bullpen. Kind of rushed up here early and had to help finish the JV game. There was a 20-minute delay, which is why we're a little late start than normal, which means this game's going to finish past my bedtime, Brad.
Well, thanks for pulling a little overtime tonight, Jeff. Dribble handoff to Arnez Sanders, kicks it right back out to Benji Jackson. And let's see, they're going to wave off any shot attempt. They'll say the foul occurred on the floor. We got our CVC TV's Jeff Amakuchi working the baseline camera tonight. Bringing you those fantastic floor views, as only Jeff Amakuchi can.
Well,
look at that view, wow. Right in your living room.
The one good thing for Jeff is that Justin Bell's at Michigan State now. I don't have to worry about him running at him.
Early enrollee, along with Damari Malone. Cass Sanders rips down the board, gets it into the front court, goes back to Josh Johnson, crossover dribbles. Cradles the basketball, goes back out to Justin Gloucester, has to retreat to get it. Gloucester tries a crossover, nothing there via the defense of Braden Lee. Trying to find the post with Jake Clay, and it'll stay with the Big Reds. 1:41 remaining, first quarter of play, 15-11. Dakota on their home floor in front.
Both teams, Brad, if you notice early on, have really gone deep into the bench, trying to keep the both fresh bodies on the floor, keep the pace of play going. We've seen a lot of guys on both teams already get into the floor already.
Justin Washington, another reserve into the game for head coach Paul Toko. Alex Makanga, the freshman, out there as well. Makanga's gotten a handful of starts this year.
Yep. Is he playing for the Big Reds? A lot of bodies in and out.
Player turns down the screen, goes over to Cass Sanders, holds the ball high above his head. Player, 17-footer, rattles home. The He's a Freshman chants begin from the Chippewa Valley student section. Jackson, a little jab step, and in the process traveled. Oh, boy, a little shove there by Justin Gloucester. The referee is now going to speak to that senior, and now Gloucester will head over to the bench. And referee will talk to head coach Corey Smith.
Yeah, there's no love loss here. And these two teams, Brad, do not exchange Christmas cards during the holidays.
Not on each other's mailing lists?
Just can't seem to find those addresses.
It's right on the school's district's website. ripped through, dumped down below, and a foul call, and Caleb Folks will go to the line to shoot a couple.
Yeah, we mentioned the Cougars' help defense has been pretty good. They kind of got caught flat-footed there, and Caleb Folks slipped in there along the baseline, got right underneath the basket. The only thing that Keelan Jackson could do was foul him, because he was in a bad spot there.
Early parts of this basketball game, you just kind of get the sense that this one's setting up to be an instant classic.
Yeah, and the pace of play right now is ferocious. And, if it continues at this pace, free throw shooting is going to be massive tonight.
Complete opposite of the first meeting between these two teams, which was just kind of a grinded out slugfest. 56-37, the final over at Chippewa Valley in early January. That was the first game back after the long holiday break, and it kind of showed that night. But obviously the two teams really kind of in this stretch run here of MAC Red play. As we flip it over to the second half, Izzy Player, good baseline drive, can't finish. Swanson comes down with a defensive rebound, and Dakota will slow things down.
Yeah, I mean, we do broadcast, Brad, from the upstairs track here, and it seems like both teams have brought the track spikes today instead of the basketball shoes.
Tovin Williams has it. Cougars will hold for the final shot of the quarter. It will be Williams. Leaves it short. Gets his own rebound. Put back. No good. Washington comes down the rebound. That will not count. And after 1 quarter of play, we are tied at 15 apiece. That's Jeff Vitale. I'm Brad Fetters. He's checking his watch, folks.
I get a lot of people talking to me, and we got the crash test dummies here today too, Brad. You notice that? Larry and is it Mo?
No, not those crash test dummies. The ones that are actually in cars.
I know you're sporting the Chippewa Valley. I actually am in the Iroquois gear today. I came right from day one of girls basketball tryouts. So we'll see how this year shapes up. But got a pretty nice crowd here on a Thursday night. A lot of students here. They came out in full force. A lot of the parents here, both seats on both sides. Fairly full. Again, for a Thursday night, pretty full group. We do have a half day tomorrow in the Valley. Officially ends the first semester.
There's a look at some of these student sections. Yeah, they're making some noise, getting into it early. Why not?
Well, two teams on the floor giving a lot to cheer about. Up and down pace of the floor, 15-15. At this rate, we're 60-60 in overtime. I'll take that.
That's everything a broadcaster could hope for, just a close ball game. I'm sure the live truck didn't appreciate hearing the words overtime being used. Lee kicks it outside, has his pass intercepted by Gloucester. Gloucester rips through, drives inside, and they're going to call a jump ball. That's a nice call right there by that official. Spotting that right away.
Well, all three officials hustling to make sure they're in a good position to make that call, and the Big Reds get the call on the jump ball.
Some of the football staffs in attendance here tonight.
Yeah, everyone comes out for this game. Just like in the football game, well, you see a lot of the basketball staff and so on. It's a big deal when you get the battle line of M59, no matter what sport it is.
Shot missed short. Izzy Player comes down the rebound. Loose ball. Scooped up by Jaden Brown. Goes up top to Folks.
Heard that smack through my earphones there.
Jake Clay comes around on a curl. Gloucester couldn't find him. Gloucester goes up strong with the left hand and gives the Big Reds the lead.
That is a big-time move by Justin Gloucester. Wow. Using that length, using that size.
A little 15-5 run here for Chippewa Valley. And another intercept, this time by Clay, up ahead to Player. Couldn't find Folks on the far side of the court. Player takes it in. Was looking for a foul call. Nothing going there.
Yeah, he forced the contact there, Brad. He wasn't going to get that call. I like him going to the basket, though.
Swings it over to Swanson. Bit of an air ball there on the three-point attempt.
Might have been a step or two just outside the range a little bit.
So Swanson will sit down. Arnez Sanders replaces.
Chippewa student section letting them hear it. Brandon Belante on the floor. That's one you got to watch out for. We saw his performance the other night against Roseville. He went off in that third quarter. Whoa. The Cougars do not want to see that tonight.
Johnson draws the double team. Clay over to Gloucester on the left wing. Gloucester, I'm going to say a foul occurred on the floor.
He's so quick, too, for his size, Brad. He's so long. He just gets that first step and that big stride. He's right by you. You really got to cut him off. But as you saw in the previous possession, he's able to spin and use his left hand, too. So how do you stop that?
So that was the second foul there on Arnez Sanders, so he will take a seat. Justin Washington comes in along with Egan Papama.
Well, the help defense that we mentioned early on, Brad, which was so good, has kind of disappeared a little bit now, and the Big Reds starting to really attack the basket as Coach Smith has made some adjustments.
Mentioned that 15-5 run, looking to add on to it. Josh Johnson goes to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Pure stroke on that first one.
Josh Johnson able to knock down both.
Little extended 2-3 zone.
Tovin Williams pulls up, kicks it back outside. Justin Washington's 3, no good. Ooh, collision there. And they're going to call Josh Johnson for the travel.
Yeah, he ran into his own man there, and Brandon Belante won.
A little friendly fire. Cougars will trigger from the baseline. Justin Washington had a hard time inbounding that basketball. Finally finds DeCoven Thomas. Thomas right now has the triple. That's it. That's the only points of the ball game. Was that made 3 in the first quarter. Thomas coming off a 22, 5 rebound, 5 assist performance in their win over Grosse Pointe South. And there's a block shot to add to the stat sheet here tonight.
Both these two teams getting after it. I love it. Cass Sanders coming back in.
Quite a long scoring drought here for the Cougars. Then outscored 4-0 in the second quarter. Look at that fastball. Just a bit outside on the receiving end for Brandon Belante.
Yeah, that had some heat on it, didn't it?
Signed Josh Johnson up for the Chippewa Valley baseball team. Holy cow.
Would have made Roger Clemens proud.
Some high heat. Papama draws a double team. Able to find DeCoven Thomas. The over-the-top pass. No looked it inside for Braden Lee. And a steal. Coach Toko cannot be pleased with that half-court set. And now Jaden Brown. Just can't let him get inside the paint. He's too good down low.
Yeah, early on, Brad, a lot of the Big Reds weren't able to get inside. Now they've kind of slowly chipped away. Now most of their baskets are now coming from the inside, and the Cougars got to find a way to get them out on the perimeter a little bit more. Chippewa Valley right now dominating the inside of the floor here.
Big 3 knocked down by DeCoven Thomas. Ends that Chippewa Valley run.
Look at the hands on the baseline by Jeff Amakuchi over there. Nice job over there, Jeff. Get that loose ball. Trying to get the ball to Brown. Nice defense.
Egan Papame.
Wow. He's standing right there. He's in great position. You couldn't ask for an official to be in a better position. That official standing right on the line. All 3 of these officials in the exact spots they need to be at.
Now a steal for Thomas. Looks up the floor, nothing available to him, so he'll slow things down. Between the circles, over to Tovin Williams. Little two-man ball between Williams and Thomas. Papa May pops outside, launches the three, can't hit. Belante comes down with the rebound. Jay Johnson slows things down, barks out the play call. Defers over to Gloucester. Sends it over to Sanders, right back to Johnson. Johnson drives, baseline, kicks it outside. Belante misses wide. Tracked down by Sanders. What a save to Jaden Brown.
Coach Togo won't be happy about that. A lot of white shirts standing flat-footed in a save.
An answer right back by Tobin Williams. Two teams trading buckets.
What a hustle play by Cass Sanders. And both teams, Brad, just lighting the scoreboard up.
Sanders over to Johnson, asks for the screen from Gloucester, now turns it down. Finally curls around the screen. Drives into the lane. Jaden Brown has it. Defers over to Johnson.
Wants to get in the post. Yep. It's going to need some help. It's a little bit of a mismatch right now, and you're going to have to get some help there for Egan, as just Brown is too strong. That's a big body to be able to defend. I'm going to make a little switch, and now Tobin's going to guard him. And he's going to go to Caleb Fulks, who's
Johnson using that body so well.
Cougars just getting up a lot of drives to the basket right now, Brad. You got to be able to cut him off and make him kick it back out. Let him work back outside in. He keeps letting him go right to the basket, and the Big Red's going to shoot a lot of free throws.
Already their 7th free throw attempt of this basketball game. Dakota has yet to shoot freebies.
Yeah, they've pretty much been living on the perimeter most of this first half. They haven't, a couple times they got to the basket, have been rejected to clean blocks. So
it's a split there for Johnson.
Izzy Player back in for Josh. Well, a young freshman gives him some good minutes, doesn't he?
24-20. He's certainly earned those minutes in that backup point guard role. He's a heck of a quarterback.
It's 2-3 matchup zone. When you get to a certain spot, it gets into a trap.
Good strong move by Egan going up. Ball was trapped up against the backboard, so no goaltending called. Papa May will shoot 2. Misses the first short.
Alex McKanga getting ready to come in for the shooter. Like a stomp team here. They brought Chippewa Valley pulled out all the stops today, Brad.
Glad the weather cooperated. It was kind of dicey this morning after back-to-back cold days. Had some considerable snowfall, but
yeah, how would you like to be living in Florida right now?
How about the people that are vacationing down there?
Yeah.
Escape the cold and the snow, and you get 5 inches of snow down there.
They got more snow than we did.
Yeah.
We got them beat on temperature, though.
That we do.
Have to go down there and show how we do it up here in Michigan. Walk around in shorts and a T-shirt down there. Pretty much their whole city's shut down.
We were colder than Alaska the other day. So 5th team foul on Dakota. So free throws the rest of the way for the Big Reds.
Yeah, shooting a lot of free throws, Brad, but they're also missing a lot of free throws.
Clinging to a 3-point lead.
4th miss from the line already. At least knock these down, and you could really help extend that lead. And again, we talked about it, about making another team chase you, but every time you go to the stripe and you either split or you come away empty, it just lets that team hang around. And after a hot first quarter, the Cougars, both teams have kind of quieted down here a little bit, but
Tovin Williams outside to Thomas, 3 on the way, knocked down after the shot, no call. Izzy Player up ahead to Jake Clay. Back outside, Brown thought about the 3. Tapped around and stolen now by the Cougars. Another turnover offensively for Chippewa Valley. Coven Thomas draws a double team, finds a wide open Tovin Williams from the right wing, and he cannot connect on that 3.
I had a good look at it, just not starting to fall now for the Cougars. Both teams kind of struggling from the arc as they knocked him down in that first quarter, not going down here in the second.
Jaden Brown begins his drive, spins in the lane, up and under, no good, tapped out of bounds. We'll say last touch by the Big Reds. .102 left to go, first half of play. Thomas swings it over to Benji Jackson. Around the screen of Braden Lee. Into the corner. Papame went up and down. You can't do that. That's travel. Picked up the pivot foot.
A lot of guys in and out of the lineups tonight right now, just trying to use a lot of different player combinations to keep everyone fresh. And right now, it's kind of being used to find that little bit of a spark right now, because both teams have kind of gone stagnant here in the second quarter.
Big Reds have outscored the Cougars 10-6 in the second frame. Galante forced to pick up the dribble, goes over to Brown, catches it with one hand. Brown being hounded there by Makanga. Double team comes, and Brown shuffled the feet.
Yeah, nice defense there by Alex. Sanders coming back in with 2 fouls, maybe trying to get a 3 or something.
Let's see if Dakota here holds for one final shot. 15 seconds left to go in the first half. Sanders over to Benji Jackson, back to Sanders, wasn't quite ready for it. Cross-court pass into the hands of Thomas. Gonna have to hurry now. 2 seconds remaining. One fires away off the back heel, refused to go down, and that will do it for our first half of play. The Chippewa Valley Big Reds on the road lead it 25-21. Jeff, your thoughts on the first half of play?
Yeah, both teams came out swinging in that first quarter. Really kind of the emotion, I think, of the game kind of slowed down in the second quarter. Defense has tightened up a little bit, and I think the Big Reds did a better job of getting the basket. Right now, the Cougars kind of living behind the arc, and they got to find ways to kind of get to the hole and make some things happen.
Take a quick break here on CVC TV. If you're watching live on Thursday night, come back in 9.5 minutes for the start of the second half of play. Welcome back inside the Cougar Den. Dakota Cougars trailing in this basketball game 25-21. As we take a look back at some of the highlights from the first half of play, the Big Reds and the Cougars were locked up at 15 apiece after the first quarter of play, but it was the plays like that by Jaden Brown and Josh Johnson that have the Big Reds in front. Nice little two-man combination there. Johnson with 10 points, Jaden Brown with 6.
Yeah, a couple of those hustle plays have kind of added up for Chippewa Valley as the Cougars went a little cold in the second quarter there, Brad. And now the halftime adjustments come into play, and we'll see how this second half gets going. They've been able to keep Brandon Belante down, but remember, just a reminder, he was down the other night. No points in the first half. He comes out with 16. You got to be careful. There's a three-point shot for both teams kind of cooled off in that second quarter there. So we're going to switch ends of the floor here and get ready for some second half basketball.
And for the Cougars, where would they be without the three-point shot, as they've been able to can 4 3-pointers in the first half. Chippewa Valley just got the Josh Johnson 3, but Arnez Sanders leading the way with 5 points. Tovin Williams with 4. DeCoven Thomas with 6.
Yeah, the Big Reds have done a much better job of getting to the rim than the Cougars had. The Cougars have kind of lived on that arc, and I think that's kind of caused them to cool down a little bit. And they got to find a way to kind of get it going. That same energy was not there in the second quarter that was prevalent in the first.
So here we go, start of the second half of play. Brad Fetters alongside 8th grade athletic director at Iroquois High School, Jeff Vitale, as Tovin Williams knocks down the triple.
It's not that serious.
Sure it is. It's a wonderful title.
Basketball coach, football coach, track coach, math teacher.
See that?
It's like a scroll. A little bit bigger guy on Jaden Brown here. I wonder if Jaden's going to use his quickness. Oh, look at Braden Lee with the steal.
It's Tovin Thomas. Opportunity to give the Cougars the lead. Somehow able to save the dribble and going to get a jump ball situation, possession arrow over the Big Reds.
A little Curly Neal Harlem Globetrotter dribbling routine there.
Yeah, a little crab dribble.
He wanted to go somewhere, and the Big Reds closed it off, and he had no plan B. They tied him up for a jump and got the possession.
Johnson hands off to Gloucester. Dumps it down low to Brown. Draws the double team, can't finish. Terrific offensive rebound by Sanders, but swatted out of there. Jay Johnson will slow things down. Over to Gloucester once again. At the top of the key, directs traffic.
We got Sanders on Brown right now. Big mismatch here, especially with Arnez with 2 fouls.
And those two guys go to work. Brown trying to get down into that low post.
Gonna need some help here.
Back down Sanders, goes right into Sanders' chest. No call, but gets the shot to fall. Wow.
That's a man basket right there, Brad. Wow.
Lee gets his defender up in the air, misses short. Gloucester able to secure the rebound.
Yeah, that's not a shot in rhythm right there. The Big Reds are going to have to help Arnez Sanders, or the Cougars are going to have to help Sanders by doubling down like that. They're not going to expect Arnez to play Jaden Brown the post.
Whoa, boy. That was like an open field tackle on Arnez Sanders. Talk about a collision. Gloucester just uprooted him.
Well, we know he didn't play for the Big Red football team, but a play like that, maybe he should have.
Oh, Brady Hamby's in the front row there, the student section. He's accustomed to seeing tackles like that.
That was a good hit, but it wasn't a Brady Hamby hit, so let's pump the brakes on that one right now.
Go to Thomas. Crosses over.
Oh, that's going to be off
Johnson.
Dakota. Yep. A lot of active hands when you get in the paint right now, Brad, and nothing's easy. You can tell that we're in the third quarter now, and the game's still pretty tight. Both teams, pretty good on the football field, pretty good on the basketball court, and it's going to get physical.
Kind of get the sense this one's going to come right down to the end of the fourth quarter. Steal by Tovin Williams. Thomas somehow was able to get a shot up.
Yeah, he changed the direction of the ball a little bit, so Gloucester couldn't get a block, drew some body contact, and 2 quick fouls on Gloucester. Coach Smith might have to make a decision here if he's going to keep him in.
Coach Toko brings 3 of his 5 players over to have a brief chat with them. Kovin Thomas will toe the line. First free throw is pure.
Again, Cougars got a big MAC Red win the other night. They want to be able to keep it going and play a little spoiler to their crosstown rival. You know, they're coming in a little fired up. Big Red's coming in a little wounded from that tough loss at Fort here in Northern. Both teams want to try to be able to try to catch Lincoln. That's going to be a lot of work, though.
Rattles home the second. Yeah, this Dakota team got off to that 8-1 start. Looked like world beaters. Beat up a what we thought at the time was a pretty good De La Salle team as that pass goes through the hands of Belante and out of bounds. Then Dakota lost 5 games in a row before finally snapping that losing streak in their last game on Tuesday, that 62-55 win on the road against Grosse Pointe South. And a tough pass there by Arnez Sanders to no one really in particular.
Yeah, those unforced turnovers are the ones that really just kill you as a coach. Self mistakes, it wasn't the Big Reds' tight defense. It's just a tough pass that he wasn't even looking, and you gotta try to limit those, because in a game like this, possessions, especially as we get to the fourth quarter, are going to be huge. So,
near steal by Lee. This game has certainly slowed down from that frantic pace that we saw in the first quarter. Swim move there by Gloucester to find himself open in the lane.
Yeah, I think Braden was going to expect him to come back and spin to his left, and Justin just took a big step toward the basket and got free for an easy bunny.
Lee trying to pound his way through the lane. Up ahead to Caleb Folks off the front iron. Battle for that loose ball. Kind of pinballs around amongst the bodies down below. And Braden Lee at the very bottom of that pile will have a jump ball situation.
That was a nice strip by Cass Sanders there, and all the bodies on the floor. Don't have to tell you how important this game is to these kids, so you just saw it right there. There's proof. Our baseline camera right there into the action.
How about that look, huh?
It's pretty sweet.
Arnez Sanders over to Tovin Williams. 7 points on the evening for Williams. Spins. Double team, splits both defenders, lays it up, lays it in.
That's a tough shot over a long Justin Gloucester. He got that to fall. Cougars got this down to 1.
Gloucester again, loses the basketball, has to retreat, floats the pass down low. Intercepted once again by Jackson, quickly into the front court. Leaves it for Lee, who hits. Oh, what do you know? Cougars lead the basketball game 30-29.
Yeah, nice little run here. Big Reds turn the ball over. Sparking the Cougars' fast break has enabled them to pull out in front here a little bit.
9-4 surge. Belante ends it right there with a triple. Don't let him get hot.
No, and that's really not his game, is that off a screen and on a run, pull up and hit a jumper. He likes to be a catch and shoot guy, so if he's starting to knock that down, look out. So as quick as Dakota takes the lead, the Big Reds answer right back.
32-30 now. Big Reds in front. 3:18 left to go in the third quarter. Taking a look at the upcoming Cougars schedules. We'll get another replay look here at this feed by Keelan Jackson to Braden Lee. Able to hang and hit. So the upcoming schedule for the Cougars, their very next game will be here at home against Roseville on January 29th. It'll be a game that'll air right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television. And then they will end next week with a road contest with the Lincoln Abes. And the Abes, the class of the MAC Red right now.
Not many people are excited to head down to that gym, Brad. I'm telling you, we saw them here. They are just smooth, athletic. I mean, they got kind of have all the pieces right now. And we'll see. Look at this. Here's Belante. Not even really much of a screen, and he just elevated over Jackson and just drains a big three.
And then the month of February will start with another home contest for the Cougars against Warren Woods Tower before returning to the road on February 6th to take on Port Huron Northern.
And that Warren Woods Tower team, that's a team that beat Chippewa Valley early in the season, Brad, so there's someone, you can't take them lightly.
And they beat Chippewa Valley on their home floor. 15-footer no good. Keelan Jackson goes up strong, harmed in the process of shooting, so he will return to the free throw line to shoot 2. Cass Sanders second, third team foul on Chippewa Valley.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys on the floor with 2 fouls right now. Fouls starting to kind of pile up. How about this, though? We're, 5 minutes in? Cougars don't have a foul yet in this quarter. There's an offensive rebound and nobody boxing out. And he took one right in the melon, didn't he? Ooh.
Able to cash in on one of two free throws, 32-31. Exactly 3 minutes left to go in the third. Blante hoists and hits.
Look out.
Back-to-back threes.
That's 2 in a row he's hit.
Can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
And if you're the Cougars, I know you saw the Roseville film and you saw him go off that third quarter. That's the last thing you want to have happen to you.
Jackson over to Thomas, back to Jackson. Lee catches at the elbow, kicks it right back out. Jackson straightaway three, no good. Tapped around and controlled by Braden Lee. And now tapped out of bounds by Brown. It'll stay with Dakota. Arnez Sanders will trigger. Near sideline. Offense right now, Jeff, kind of going through Keelan Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, he had a nice look from the top of the key there. Braden Lee did a nice job of keeping that alive right now. Dakota right now just kind of looking for someone to take over this game. And Chippewa Valley right now, Brandon Belante really starting to kind of heat up. So
Arnez Sanders flashes to the hoop. Instead it'll be Tovin Williams, drives baseline. Tough catch there for Lee and out of bounds. Lee was looking for a foul call.
Yeah, I think he thought a Big Red hit that, but from this point, our vantage point, looked like it went off his chest.
Josh Johnson lowers the shoulder, able to get the shot up. Coven Thomas quickly ahead to Tovin Williams, 3-on-1. They tried to hurry, couldn't thread that pass. It's an intercept. Caleb Folks tried to feed it inside to Jay Johnson, who will just backtrack now. Cass Sanders back over to Johnson.
That was great defense by Belante to break that pass up.
Johnson to Folks. Folks drives, had his shot blocked by Thomas. Look out, Tovin Williams hangs and hits.
Up and down action. We're starting to pick it back up again, Brad.
1:05 left to go in the third. Chippewa Valley clinging to a 2-point lead. Johnson's pass was altered. Belante gets the shot to fall.
Well, just when you say he hasn't done much, he's got 8 points already. Caught the Big Red sleeping.
Braden Lee beat everybody down the floor.
Coach Smith not be happy about that. Look at down this floor.
Folks into the corner. Belante wide open.
Oh.
No good.
The whole
rare miss for Belante. Now a scramble for that loose ball. Coach Toko. A foul call here.
Brandon let that fly, and that whole student section was ready to go crazy, and it just went off the back iron.
So that's the third foul now on Arnez Sanders.
And he'll sit down with 6 points.
Izzy Player catching it in the backcourt. 35 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Player twists and turns, pulls up in the paint and scores.
How about that for the freshman?
Made that look easy.
Very easy.
It wasn't.
He's the freshman chant again.
Pop him a air ball.
Yeah, that shot's not in his rhythm, Brad.
And now Chippewa Valley will hold for the quarter's final shot. Izzy Player trying to cross over Thomas. Gets a little bit of a screen. Picks up the dribble. Floats a pass over to Clay. Long range three. They're going to say a foul call. And Coach Toko can't believe it. It was a flat-footed shot attempt there by Justin Gloucester, and they're going to get to Coven Thomas for the foul. That's going to be 3 free throws and an opportunity to spread this lead from 4 all the way up to 7. Oh, boy, was that a bad foul.
Yeah, that's a tough foul, Brad.
Talk about changing the momentum of this basketball game. Gloucester all alone at the free throw line, knocks down the first 2, still 1 free throw upcoming.
Whoever's yelling from the student section, he makes one, he turns around, just stares down that student section, turns right back around, he hits a third one here. This would be that's a big trip to the line.
And he is able to cash in all 3 free throws. So it's going to be a 7-point advantage for the Big Reds heading into the fourth quarter. They lead it. It's a football score, 42-35.
Well, and when you take it from a 2-possession game now to a 3, and that kind of gives Chippewa Valley a little bit of breathing room here. And you can see the foul. He ran right into him. I mean, that's a good call. And he's shooting it from the volleyball line. He didn't even need to be out there. Just go straight up, but he jumped right into him. It's a silly foul. I know Coach Toko wasn't happy with it, but they go back and watch the film. He's probably going to let Thomas hear about it.
So all of a sudden, this hill has turned into a bit of a mountain for the Cougars to climb back into this basketball game. They did a lot of good work in that third quarter, even took the lead at one point in that third frame, but now all of a sudden find themselves trailing by 7 points. As there's a look at some of the Chippewa Valley faithful. Oh, at Coach Denreiter there.
Yep. Doesn't have the headset up, calling plays today. He's here cheering on his players. And the Big Reds are going to get the ball here. So how about this? What was a 4-point game? If you score here on a 2 or a 3, you could make this a 9 or a 10-point game. What a turnaround within those last, 15, 20 seconds here.
Rumor is Superintendent Ron Roberts is also in attendance.
Yeah, usually a Chippewa Dakota game will bring him out. He's over here to our right. Nice cut by Fulks. There's your 9. Just like that, stretch the lead out a little bit.
Oh, there's Superintendent Ron Roberts and his wife Denise talking to Dakota Athletic Director Shane Finney.
I think Mr. Finney might be working on a little extra funding.
Why not? Might as well try. All the celebrities in attendance tonight.
Even us, Brad.
We got a job to do. Otherwise, we'd be taking the game in. Lee catches. Dakota brings it outside of the perimeter. Oh, what a nice little runner.
Yeah, Cougars needed that, Brad. They had to kind of stop this Big Red run. And they got to find a way here to get some stops and keep making some good possessions here because you don't want this lead to get going.
Jake Clay begins his drive, picks up the dribble, goes baseline to Jaden Brown, out of bounds.
I was going to say he lost out of bounds. Coach Smith kind of looks a little, he didn't get that deflected, and
so it'll be Keelan Jackson running the point once again. Coven Thomas, Justin Washington, Braden Lee, and Tovin Williams, the 5 on the floor. As it's to Coven Thomas, he's starting to heat up.
I hit that from downtown. Cougars now getting a little bit of life here. Coach Smith did not like that wide open 3 they let him have.
And Coach Smith getting ready to bring in 3 of his starters. Izzy Blair's shot was blocked. Josh Johnson, Volante, and Caleb Folks. Nope, that's Cassidy Sanders getting ready to check in. Folks is going to take a seat.
Some wholesale changes coming in here. Pretty much starting 5 on the floor right now, Brad, for the Big Reds. And if you're the Cougars, you got to be aware of number 33, who started to heat up a little bit.
Strong move inside by Gloucester.
Oh, and he stepped over the line on the inbounds. Another silly turnover by the Cougars. Going to give the Big Reds the ball back.
So Justin Gloucester with 12 points, including 7 here in the second half. Drives it right at the rack.
So
Dakota
long
Thomas
when he just
down
drives
to
that
rebound.
basket. He gets that ball up so high. He's very tough to defend. Extra pass.
Tovin Williams, good Body control. Boy,
man.
was that pretty.
That's a gorgeous finish. He's a baller. 13 for number 2.
Josh Johnson, Volante a little out of control, able to regather the basketball. Johnson drives baseline up and under, can't finish. Jackson has the ball ripped out of his hands there by Josh Johnson. And then splitting a couple defenders, Justin Gloucester. He is having himself a heck of a basketball game.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of been the difference maker in these 2 games.
Keelan Jackson, too strong. Lee came down with the initial rebound, and
Are they going to call a foul on Josh Johnson?
wow.
No. Who?
Yeah,
Brown?
I think
They're
Johnson.
calling that foul on Brown.
Really? Okay.
Alrighty then, to quote famous actor.
I think if anyone, that was probably on Johnson, right? If you were going to call a foul.
Well, if you're Coach Toko, you're going to take it because, again, you can make this a 2-possession game again here with a basket.
Take another look here at this last basket by Gloucester, able to split those 2 defenders.
Tobin Williams. Oh, there's a Tobin put a nice spin move on Gloucester, and Jaden Brown went to block it and get a foul. He's got 2 quick fouls now in the last 30 seconds. Jaden Brown now going to put Tobin Williams at the line for 2.
Amazing what happens when you become the aggressor.
Yeah, I mean, we've just seen at times the Cougar offense go stagnant, but when they turn it up, and you just got to find a way to keep that aggressiveness just a little bit more consistent. And now it's kind of the Big Reds that have kind of gone into a little bit of a shell. Oh, 2 big misses. They're going to call Josh Johnson
violation.
for stepping. He gets a freebie.
Mulligan for Tobin Williams.
That's my golf game, Brad.
Yeah, I would love to have a couple mulligans.
Live off the mulligan.
Not only in the game of golf, but perhaps even the game of life.
We all would. Ooh.
No.
Oh,
Unable
he
to
wasn't
take advantage of the
back in.
mulligan.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what a late whistle. They're going to call a carry rather than the out of bounds that the Dakota bench wanted. Cougar coaching staff began to politic right away to that referee who missed the obvious out of bounds play, but made up for it with the carry
Caleb
call.
Folks hadn't established himself inbounds yet, and it was kind of a delayed call. And Coach Smith feels that was like the Cougars that called that in terms of the officials. Either way, Cougars come away with nothing. Big Reds with another rebound.
Look at this.
A home run.
Valente, no good.
Oh, you call it offensive elbow.
Boy.
Oh, boy.
So they're going to get Thomas. That's his 3rd for using the free hand to create some separation there from Josh Johnson. Credit Johnson. He threw his head back, and let's get another look at it here. Jeff Vitale, you be the ref here.
I mean, they get one look at it, so it's, look at this. Oh.
No harm, no foul.
I mean, I agree with the call. At glance, it looks like he hit him in the face.
3 on its way, knocked down in the face of Josh Johnson. And DeCoven Thomas flexing his muscles on the way back to the huddle, and why not? He has 4 triples in this basketball game and has pulled Dakota within 3. They trail 48-45.
He had that one from Hall Road and Shaner. Holy smokes, was that out there. I remember back in you would look down to see how close you were to the line. No one even looks down anymore. They don't care where they're at. They'll shoot it from the Cougar if they have to.
Yeah, they call it the logo 3, and It has certainly become a part of the game. Whether you like it or not, it's here to stay. There's been talk about extending the three-point line back. There's talk about ending it at the sideline rather than extending it all the way to the baseline. I don't know. Something's maybe going to have to give. The three-point basket is an integral part of the game now.
I think it's too exciting of a shot to remove from the game. I definitely think if you widen it out a little bit, but again, you just will learn to evolve and you just work on becoming a better shooter. I mean, no matter what rules you put into it, the players will evolve and the game will evolve to fit the playing style that's being issued on the floor.
(10-6) Cougars have outscored Chippewa Valley here in the fourth quarter. Just thinking back to that 19-5 run that the Big Reds went on in that first half to create some of that separation. The Cougars have had to fight back throughout this basketball game. You wonder how much energy did they use to work themselves back in this game? Do they have enough here in this fourth quarter?
Nice,
and they leave Caleb Fulks wide open.
Yeah, the Cougars dug in their heels, but then when they need to, the Big Reds just get a big basket like that last one.
Tovin Williams kicks it out. Arnett Sanders wide open, in and out. Caleb Fulks was streaking down the floor. He wanted the baseball pass to come his way.
Jaden Brown going to try to take over here.
Josh Johnson looks over at his head coach, Corey Smith. This is a Big Reds team that has been very good on the road this season. 6-2 coming in to tonight's road contest.
That's his
a
fourth
nickel
foul.
and dimer there against Arnett Sanders. That's going to be his fourth. So it'll be Justin Washington to take his place on the floor.
Justin Washington.
Johnson, a foul call.
Coach Toko's not happy about that call.
Third team foul will send Josh Johnson to the free throw line for a pair. Now it's going to be a short break here for Arnett Sanders with those 4 fouls. He's getting ready to come back in.
Very short. And if you're the Big Reds right now, whoever he's guarding, you just go at him with it, whoever you got. I mean, you got a lot of guys on the floor that can really play it in the post, but the Cougars right now down 5 and needed some offense. He needs to be in the floor.
Johnson splits the pair. Coven Thomas, 16 points in the basketball game, including 10 here in the second half. Arnett Sanders around a screen, a little pull-up 14-footer is good, and that's why he's back out on the floor.
Yeah, that's exactly why he's out there, Brad. You just got to watch who he's guarding. He's got Caleb Fulks right now, and you can play Caleb Fulks in the post.
This would be a backcourt violation, so Coven Thomas is going to scoop up that loose ball. Some trailing teammates come. He's going to bring the three-pointer himself.
Oh,
and
jeez.
Big shot there by Justin Gloucester.
That's a volleyball spike.
Catches Keelan Jackson in the face.
Well, they are starting boys volleyball in the spring, Brad. I'd sign the big man up.
Take another look here.
Jeez, oh, Pete's. This
so we
is
get
a
the
high
missed three,
bounce.
and then look at this Justin Gloucester spike attempt here. Boom.
And a miss for the Cougars, and the Big Reds keep dodging these attempts for the Cougars to draw closer.
Brown sensing a mismatch, and it's Popema that comes away with the clean block, but then turns it over to Cass Sanders, and a little bit of a helter-skelter half-court set here for head coach Corey Smith and the Big Reds. And finally, Coach Smith will take a timeout. He was sensing,
Yeah.
He was sensing things were getting a little strange on the other side of the half court. That's a very good timeout to just kind of slow things down and get everybody under control.
Yeah, and what that does is allow your team to regroup because there is no shot clock. So, theoretically, the rest of the game, the Big Reds don't have to shoot unless it's a really, really good shot. So take care of the ball. The Cougars are going to turn up the pressure. So you got to be able to cut and move to open spots. You got to be able to hit them. Coach Toko's team is really turning it up.
Dakota still has one foul to give here in this fourth quarter.
Yep, both teams do.
51-47. It was a 4-point lead at the halftime break. The lead still remains 4. It'll be Chippewa Valley basketball coming out of the timeout. Brad Fetters, my main man, Jeff Vitale. Continuing coverage of this MAC Red matchup. Our rivalry game number 2 between these two teams, and Arnett Sanders has just fouled out of the basketball game.
Yep, they lost track of
Caleb Folks.
Lost track of Folks, and Sanders had a foul. That's it for him. And Dakota gets their 30 seconds to sub someone in.
So Sanders' night is done. 7 points for the senior.
How about Josh Johnson? So I've been watching some videos, and that's exactly how you split a trap. Stepped right through the center of it, fired it down the floor, and they're able to hit Folks for a layup. Picture perfect how it's taught. But Caleb Folks, a little smile on his face. Think he's having some fun.
Well, he certainly knows where he's going next year. As he mentioned, recently committed to Madonna to play football.
You think he knows the camera was on him? He was smiling at it?
Could be. The red light turned on.
The red light did turn on. Again, if you have any experience in radio and television, that the red light means you're live. 2 huge free throws, Brad.
Good form on those free throws, like that gooseneck finish. So here we go. Big Reds back in front by 6. Benji Jackson has replaced Arnett Sanders on the floor. Going to be the off guard here for head coach Paul Toko. Oh, boy. That was a man-sized block there by Jaden Brown, and now he's going to get teed up.
Now, see, that's just silly. You make a nice block, you knock it out of bounds. You don't need to do that because now, in a 6-point game, you're getting Dakota 2 free throws
plus
and the
ball.
Back. You can make this a 1 or 2 point game out of this when you've got a 6-point lead and you've made the Cougars chase you. I think Coach Smith is kind of asking for and now he's trying to explain to him, like, you just can't do that. I get the emotion of the game. I get it. These guys are out there busting their hump. I'm sure, we're a little ways away. Trust me, there's a lot of talking going on where most of you people can't hear. So, but you got to, especially at this time of the game, Brad, you got to control your emotions. There's a lot of young kids right now just can't do that.
Dakota Thomas making him pay. 2 makes at the free throw line, and now the basketball.
Now with a Hooper 3, this becomes a 1-possession game when a few seconds ago the Big Reds are up 6.
Tovin Williams is trying to feed the basketball over to Benji Jackson in the corner. It'll stay with the Cougars. 95 seconds remaining in regulation.
Let's give this referee crew a shout out tonight. It's been a crazy game. I think they've handled this game about as well as you can do. I think both coaches would agree with that.
Tovin Williams around the curl. Dakota Thomas got his defender. Put back, no good by Benji Jackson. Coach Toko wanted a foul call. Now turnover at midcourt. Look out. Boy, oh boy. Some sloppy basketball right now. Possession arrow favors the Cougars. Coach Togo's trying to take a timeout without possession of the ball, but the possession arrow does favor Dakota.
He's lobbying, Brad, but he ain't going to get it.
And now they will call timeout.
Yeah, he's got 4 timeouts left, so this is a good timeout here. Draw up something. Draw up your best play. Make sure you execute it. You can get within one score here. And then, anything can happen in the last minute 13. So this possession is huge for the Cougars.
Coven Thomas, 18 points in this basketball game, 12 in the second half. Where would they be without him tonight?
Well, how about the hustle, too, on that last possession for the Big Reds in terms of, I mean, he gave the best shooter on the floor at right this point in time a wide-open shot. You're able to deflect that, knock it down. And, man, both teams laying it all out there. This is what you got to like to see. You don't think these kids want to win this? Just look at this chaos. People diving everywhere. Look at this. On the floor.
That was Benji Jackson, the junior, who had recently checked into this basketball game, replacing Ernest Sanders, who had fouled out. That's a tough situation to come off the bench and be asked to contribute the way Benji Jackson has. And so it'll be Jackson, Lee, Thomas, Jackson, Keelan Jackson, and Tovin Williams, the 5 on the floor for head coach Paul Toko. Chippewa will counter with Folks, Jaden Brown, Cass Sanders, Justin Gloucester, and Jay Johnson. Up strong, Braden Lee. A little bit of an unsung hero tonight. Yeah, he's got 9, and now Chippewa Valley's going to take a timeout.
Yep. That was a nice job. Lee came around on a curl. Thomas was coming around for a 3, and I think they kind of went to the 3, and they got Lee in there in that curl. Big shot there. That leaves Chippewa Valley with 1 timeout in the last minute. You got to be very careful here.
So let's take another look here at this latest Braden Lee bucket.
There you see the curl. Nice fake. He just goes right up. Tough shot.
Very patient effort as well, not rushing that shot attempt.
Yeah, nice diagram there by Coach Toko. Got his big man underneath the basket over Jaden Brown. Gave up 3 inches there to Lee, and he was able to put a big basket in. Now we're at a 1-possession game, and I think in the press here, because the Cougars got to go on the baseline, you kind of work the 10 seconds. If they get it over, then you foul, and you turn this into a free throw shooting contest because both teams have 4 fouls, which means the next fouls on both sides, we're shooting.
Chippewa Valley 3 of 4 in the free throw department here in the fourth quarter. Dakota 2 of 4.
Well, but those numbers are about to go way up here in this last minute and 1 seconds. Hey, folks, if you got somewhere to be in the next 10 minutes, this last minute one is going to take about 20 minutes. You might have to put it on hold.
And don't forget, Jeff Vitale called overtime back when the score was 15-15.
Genius, huh?
Johnson being harassed right now by DeCoven Thomas. Johnson able to get it over the timeline. Gloucester has the basketball. We'll see at what point the Cougars begin to foul. That's probably not the guy you want to foul. Maybe.
Well, see, shooting free throws in the gym or early in the game, when you're shooting them in the last 50 seconds of a tight game, it's a different story there. But, this is where big-time players make big-time plays. Josh Johnson's got a chance to make 2 here for the Big Reds and really kind of give them a little bit more of a lead here.
Johnson 4 of 7 from the line. Bends at the knees, sends it on its way and misses. Now 4 of 8.
Offense for defense. Johnson in for McKenga.
Jake Clay into the game for Chippewa Valley.
Sorry, Jackson.
(54-51).
Well, that free throw is big, Brad, because the worst that can happen for the Big Reds right now is a tie.
Tovin Williams picks up the dribble, hands off to DeCoven Thomas, and now the timeout call is made by head coach Paul Toko. Well, everything we could have asked for and more here tonight, 54-51, 34.8 seconds remaining.
It's coming down to the wire. We were pretty close on that 60-60 prediction. I mean, it's not that far off, 54-51. Like I said, anything can happen in this last 34.8 seconds to go. It is far from over.
What do you think head coach Paul Toko is drawing up here? Another look inside maybe for Braden Lee. Is it too early to take a three? Do you just try to keep extending this basketball game?
I like the option where they had Thomas on the curl and then Lee on the shorter curl, and I think you take your best option. I mean, the Cougars on the floor really have 4 shooters. Keelan Jackson definitely capable of knocking one down here, so you can see what happens here. Execution is going to be key.
Benji Jackson will toss it into the backcourt for Keelan Jackson. Braden Lee sets the screen into the corner there for Tovin Williams. Drives inside, misses. Lee with the putback and the quick timeout.
Coach Toko's got a lot of them, so this becomes one of those. You got 25 seconds. If you can get some pressure in the backcourt, if not, look for a quick foul. And again, make this a free throw shooting contest.
Braden Lee, 11 points in this basketball game. Some absolutely key rebounds, including this most recent one as Tovin Williams drives baseline, unable to get the shot to fall, but Braden Lee, Johnny on the spot with the putback. 11 points in the ball game for Lee. 3 different Cougars now with double digits.
Yeah, that big 6'7" frame, he just cleans up around the glass, and Tovin Williams have really kind of drawn a lot of guys in, and he was free kind of just to sit there and tap it right in. And Johnny on the spot here at the front of the rim. And now we'll see what Coach Smith has dug into his bag of tricks. He's got Player on the floor who's really quick, so he's got 2 point guards on the floor.
So it'll be Justin Gloucester to inbound, and a reminder, because of the made basket, he can run the baseline. Oh boy! Quick hands to Covin Thomas, knocked it out of bounds. We'll reset. Now this becomes a little bit of a tougher inbound because it's further down the baseline for Justin Gloucester.
Yeah, a lot of crisscrossing and screens. And
Brown had to go off of him and out of bounds. Couldn't catch it cleanly. Oh no.
Right off his knee, and now the Cougars, Brad, are gonna have a chance to take a lead here. Does Coach Toko use his final timeout?
Both teams just one timeout left. Benji Jackson to trigger from the exact same spot.
You can give it about 7 seconds here and see if you get anything good, or then call timeout.
And it's a block shot. And a tie-up. Alternating arrow says Big Red basketball.
Boy, he took it right to the hole, and he got denied at the rim. Woo!
What a defensive stand by the Big Reds. And now Jaden Brown will inbound. Now he cannot move. Johnson slipped.
Coach Smith called it.
And that'll be the Big Reds' final timeout of the game. Josh Johnson came over to help and slipped, went down. And thankfully, Jaden Brown did not inbound that basketball. Instead, they take their final timeout of regulation. 54-53, 15.9 seconds. Buckle up. We're still in store for a wild ride here. Brad Fetters, Jeff Vitale, high atop Dakota High School.
And what's got to happen here, Brad? Quick steal. If you don't get a quick steal within a couple seconds, you got to foul. You do not want to wait for the ball to get over the timeline, because that takes 10 seconds off the clock, and it puts it under 6. So you don't want that. If you can get a quick steal or something like that Dakota just had, where you knocked it off a leg or anything like that, you know, obviously, but if not, foul, get them on the free throw line so you have as much time as you can to draw up a game tying, or depending on how many free throws Chippewa makes, a go-ahead play.
Chippewa Valley trying to maintain pace in the MAC Red, looking to improve to 4-2, in desperate need of a victory if they want to win a MAC Red championship. Linking off to that perfect 4-0 start. Port Huron Northern 4-1. Dakota is going to have a gigantic hill to climb if they want to get themselves back in the race. But a win here tonight on their home floor would be huge. The inbound comes to Johnson. The triple team comes, and they quickly will foul Johnson.
Well, he split his pair the last time, Brad, so if he does that again, that's exactly what Dakota wants. if he can sink both free throws here, the Cougars are going to need to go for a 3. Coach Toko does have one more timeout left. Chippewa Valley out of timeouts. And the last thing you want to do if you're Chippewa Valley is pull Chris Weber.
5 of 9 for Johnson at the line. Yeah, don't want to take a timeout if you don't have one. That would be a technical foul. 5 of 10 now at the free throw line for Johnson.
Yeah, a lot of people cheering some of it. You don't really realize how tough these free throws are, Brad. Nice stroke on the second one.
And Coach Toko going to use his final timeout.
Inbound's going to come from about the C of where the Cougars are there on the sideline. Basically 12 seconds to go, Brad.
It's kind of a catch-22 there for head coach Paul Toko, right? You want to take the timeout and draw something up, but you also want to have that timeout in your back pocket in case something goes haywire.
Well, you got to trust your team, because what you don't want to have happen is you get hasty and make a bad turnover, and now you got a timeout in your back pocket too. So, I mean, really, you can't win in this situation. Draw something up, make sure your team executes it, give it the best shot you can, either tie or go ahead in this game. Now here's the question, though. It's kind of like the proverbial down 1, going for 2 type thing in football. You go for the win and knock down this 3. You take this in overtime. There's a lot of people in this game, Brad, in foul trouble. Do you try to prolong the game, or do you go right for the dagger right now?
Well, let me ask you, is the philosophy any different with the fact that Dakota's the home team?
I don't think so. I think you whatever presents to you, you take it. Heck with the consequences. You let it rip. You know, this is a game where, you know, you don't want to definitely hold it back and turn it over. If you got a good shot, it's behind the arc, take it. If you got a chance at the rim, nothing at the rim's been easy tonight, Brad. So, you know, you want to take the best shot you possibly can.
So it'll be Keelan Jackson to inbound. Over to DeCoven Thomas in the backcourt.
Oh,
10 seconds to go. Johnson had him tangled up there. Now 6, gonna have to go. DeCoven Thomas drives inside. DeCoven Thomas hangs and doesn't hit! Oh no! Iron unkind to Thomas. And that will do it. Coach Toko wants a foul call and doesn't get it.
That ball rolled all around the rim and fell out. What a move. He was able to get that ball, avoid his contact, and get it up on the rim. And, it does not go down for the Cougars. Look at this drive.
I don't know how he was able to get this shot off. What an individual effort, and then the ball just hangs on the rim and refuses to go down. What a fantastic varsity basketball game here tonight between our 2 rival schools. 55-53, our final score. The Big Reds come in and steal one away from the Cougars after the final ditch effort by DeCoven Thomas refuses to go down. Wow. Jeff Vitale, your thoughts here tonight?
Yeah, you got a heck of a look at the rim, whether there was contact or not, or if he fell just from the move that he tried to make. Obviously we'll never see that, but, well, what a fantastic finish to a fantastic game. These 2 teams, again, never disappoint. And Cougars gave it a heck of a run with the Big Reds. Finish off the season sweep, and now, we're in that second half of the MAC Red schedule. We'll see if anyone can catch Lincoln, because they look right now the odds-on favorite to walk out of here as the team to beat.
Chippewa Valley improves to 13-3 overall. More importantly, 4-2 in the MAC Red. They're hoping to keep their MAC Red title hopes alive. The Dakota Cougars fall in heartbreak fashion here tonight. 9-7 overall, 1-5 in league play. Fantastic job by our entire CVC television crew here tonight, including our producer Jim Calderon and our director Joe Chapo. For my broadcast partner Jeff Vitale, I am Brad Fetter saying goodnight one final time from Dakota High School. Once again, your final score in an absolute thriller. The Chippewa Valley Big Reds 55, the Dakota Cougars 53. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week, Wednesday, for the Cougars and Roseville Panthers.